What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Zach's Live Trader. Here with you as always, I am the people's champ of Wall Street, the bearded boy wonder, Dave Bartosiak. And today, my friends, is the granddaddy of them all. That's right, folks, NVIDIA. Now, why do I call NVIDIA the granddaddy of them all? Because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like 90% sure that it was one of the first shows we ever did, I think, way back. Way back in the day. How long ago was it? A year and a half now? Has it been over a year? I think a little over a year. Something like that. I suppose. I think, yeah, Kramer's dog. He's got a dog named NVIDIA. Whatever, man. Pretty sure I was talking about NVIDIA before Kramer was. And we've got video evidence, so you don't got to take my word for it. It's not just Dave out here acting a fool. It's relevant, real deal Holyfield stuff that you can see. My first Bloomberg appearance, February 2016. NVIDIA in the 20s. I had a call spread on it. So that was victorious. Then, beginning of year this year, we've got our top stock picks of the week segment I did with Mullen, where I said in 2017, I think NVIDIA is going to be a $250 stock. It's getting there, isn't it? So pretty darn close. But I'm not going to get in here and say that I've been right about the options trades, though, because I have a terrible track record on NVIDIA over the last few of these sessions. And then the whole time I've been saying, the funny part is I consistently say, and I'll continue to say, that bullish over the long term. And that's the thing you guys got to take away from these. We're doing these shows so you can see how to use all these analysis tools we have available here on Zax.com to come up with these longer term trade ideas. So these options events end up being opportunities for you. So if you're bullish on a stock, there's no reason that you have to go gung-ho into it ahead of earnings. We don't have to do that. This is a fun little risk versus reward exercise we do. But you don't have to do that to yourself. You can wait until after the report. At least you'll know what price levels you should be looking at, things of that nature. Put it on your watch list, whatever you want to do. So yeah. Why don't we go ahead and get elbow deep in here? I see we've got the usual suspects. Kurt, Wild Bill Phillips, you would have been proud yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? One of these days, Wild Bill. I was looking for you. You weren't there. Tracy, thanks for the email. I appreciate it. Jeff, of course, my friend, no defeating Team Green. Trevor, yeah, it ain't my first rodeo, Trevor. I know this much. Pando, I'm glad you're doing quality control on me today. That's a good thing. Kurt, as always. Danny, how you doing? Michael, PJ, Bruno, coming from Portugal. Okay. Let's go ahead and dig in this. What can you say about NVIDIA here that hasn't already been said? Lots of things. Trust me, I've got lots to talk about. And I got a full glass of Arizona green tea. Wait, is it green tea? I think, no, this is the half and half. What is this? Yeah, I think it's the green tea with the honey. That's what it is. So I got plenty of caffeine in me, so I'm pretty fired up. And the pork chops, I mistimed my pork chops, so I didn't eat lunch yet. So hopefully they're not going to cool off too much, but that's okay. All right, so one thing you want to point out here, right off the bat. Black line corresponds to the right y-axis, which is price. Green arrow's earnings beats. Red arrow, that little guy, I wouldn't worry about that little guy. Kyle, how you doing? The left axis corresponds to these. That's EPS. And that's the multicolored lines, which represent the evolution of our Zax consensus estimates over time. Now, jumping off of the page here, with this price consensus and EPS surprise chart should be the following. EPS trend. Okay? Now, we're going to offset that when we take a look at our ZRS and we're digging in on the valuations. Okay, we're going to get into that a little bit later. But basically what we have to see is there consistent growth in this EPS? Is this a trend that can continue? That's what this chart tells you at the basics, right? So, but you can look at this and you can go, okay, well, they were making about $1 back here. Now they're looking at $4. So is the stock up 4 times? No. Stock's up 10 times. So what does that mean, Captain Obvious? There's been a little bit of PE or multiple expansion. Multiple expansion that's taken place. So because of that, obviously expectations have been a little bit higher, right? You didn't have the same bar down here as you do now up here. So that tells me expectations are up through the roof. And you know what that means. When you have high expectations, you can have some disappointments, okay? That's what, first date with me, we're not going, we're not going all out. Like, I might take you to like a decent, like, Italian place, and you'll get like a $20 pasta meal, maybe. But like, we're not going all out. No. So lower those expectations. Then you don't have the disappointment at the end. So that's what we're talking about here. Very high expectations. We're going to see exactly how high they are. And that, of course, is a risk heading into these reports. Is that since they've been rocking and rolling so much and we've just been in awe with everything that they've done, we're going to have to see what those expectations are. Zacks ranked #1 strong buy, and that's because of those earnings estimates moving in that positive direction. Top 3% of our Zacks industry rank. Now, this one makes sense, right? I know all the time I'm sitting up here and I'm going, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Square. There's no real peers. NVIDIA in the chip space. Yeah, we've actually got some peers here. And Pando, to speak to your point, Jeff's right. NVIDIA doesn't consoles. We don't need no stinking consoles. PC Master Race, bruh. All right, so they're going to report after the market closes. Ooh, I got highlighter. This is my pink highlighter today. Rocking and rolling. Maybe I should change the color. Maybe I'll highlight in blue. Look at that. Highlight in the light blue. And then I can go nuts in the thug pink. Right? Maybe not. Okay, so they're going to report after the bell tomorrow. So we got the rest of the trading day today and tomorrow to figure out what you want to do. Look at the last surprise. It's been quite surprising. Where's my detailed estimates? Now we're going to look at the revenues. Okay, now remember expectations, what we got going on. Current quarter, 17.96% revenue growth for the current quarter. Next quarter, it will slow to 12%. Now remember, guys and gals, cycles. You got product cycles. So just like Apple, still got the product cycles over here, okay? And they have times where they've got a bunch of new chips coming out. You'd be surprised, Bill. There's no shame in my color game. Chicks dig. Real men wear pink, okay? Anyway, I totally forgot what I was talking about. Okay, current quarter revenue, 17%, and then we're going to slow, and now it's talking about product cycle. So if you get the new card coming out, what is that, Jeff? The 1070 Ti or something? You're going to get new interest, and people are going to want to buy these bad boys, okay? And then, yes, of course, Volta GPU in the self-driving cars, autonomous tech. There's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. Autonomous tech. Waymo. You guys know about Waymo? What you know about Waymo? What you know about Waymo? Waymo is Google's, one of Alphabet's little pet projects, and they've got a level 4 autonomous car putting around the streets of Arizona right now. So, yes, autonomous tech is upon us, my friends. The driver assists big, and then, of course that. Okay, so current quarter, boom. Next quarter, 12. Current year, fantastico, right? 29.96. Look at next year, though. Shrinkies. A little bit of shrinking violet here. I wouldn't worry too much about that, though, initially. Now let's look at the EPS side. How's that going to translate? Current quarter, 13.36%. Next quarter, contraction. Bodon, how you doing, buddy? Welcome. Next quarter, contraction, 2.8%. Current year, 40.5% EPS growth here for next, and then next year shrinking to 8.5 again. And again, you got to spend money on R&D. You got new chips, got new markets. All sorts of fantastic stuff happening around NVIDIA. So, the one thing to point out, though, guys, this is known. These are known, right? This isn't something that just happened yesterday where they're going, oh, nope, it's gonna be bad. Okay, so you gotta think about that. Agreement. Over the last 60 days, you've got 7 analysts. So this was after their report. Lucky 7 across the board. Jackpot, my friends. That's what happened after NVIDIA's last report, where all these people came out and said, oh, NVIDIA's going to make so much money this year. And they were right. So the current quarter trend's gone from 88 cents up to 94 cents for the current quarter. Next quarter, 90 to 96. Current year from 340 to 361. And next year's number from the 377 to the 392. Everything moving in the positive direction. So that's good heading into this earnings report. But you notice nobody's said anything recently, right? And we did have AMD kind of puttered out. Is there a risk that we're going to putter out again? Surprise history here on NVIDIA. It's been pretty darn good to the upside recently, my friends. An average of 23% beat over the last 4 quarters. With last quarter's 32% surprise. Raising a few eyebrows of how amazing it was. All right. Now we're going to dig into the good stuff. PayPal. Not PayPal. NVIDIA. By the way, while I've got your attention, if you're not already signed up on our Zacks Live Trader distribution list, shoot me those emails, livetrader@zacks.com. Also, come hang out in the chat room. Discord, I know all the cool people. That's what all the cool people are doing. All the cool people go there. If you want to be cool, that's what you got to do. Here's the other thing, though. So I talked to the powers that be about ZRS. And if there are interested parties, I could get you guys hooked up with our ZRS guy. Then they have sort of a ZRS Lite called Zacks Advisor Tools. So we're going to look into that also. So you're going to get a lot of this data. Maybe not the institutional grade stuff that I have in ZRS, which we don't even use, by the way. But you'll have a little bit of access to it. You have access to pretty much everything that we do in here. So if you're interested, shoot me an email. I don't even have any details on it. We'll just kind of go from there. Okay? There it is. There's my halftime pitch. All right. Well, since I got this pulled up, we're just going to skip ahead and go here. And then we'll circle back to the other stuff. So what this earnings surprise tab gives me is 2 days prior to 2 days after earnings, what happens. So with regards to NVIDIA last quarter, and let that marinate, guys, despite a 31 cent surprise, 50% to the upside, stock went down. Stock went down 9.3%. Was the revenue disappointed? Estimated consensus report? No revenue disappointment either. Then you look at the previous quarter, 18%. Before that, you got -4. Big 25 to the upside, 7 to the upside, 13 to the upside. So it's kind of been all over. It's been all over the place, okay? I think that's why it's been so tough, because even though we've been very good at predicting NVIDIA beating these earnings reports, the price action has been much, much trickier. Revs. What's this revenue growth been? We're going to go back 5 years. 2014 wasn't so good. 2015, 2016 solid. 2017, 37.92% revenue growth. And then if you look at this year, now we're slowing, okay? So you can see sort of these big gaps up year over year, and the year over year pace is going to slow this quarter. And then next year, also just not all that incredible. Now granted, these numbers start low, and we'll probably go back up, you know. Oh, I love Mullen. We had Mullen here on a Bloomberg. I mean, not Bloomberg. What am I talking about? On an Alibaba thing that we did. I had him in the studio. But now that guy, I mean, that guy is busy. Let me tell you. While we're looking at it, he's trading it, and he's already profited. He's a beast. He's a man among men. Revenue. But not, oh, I did it again. Always hitting it. See, that's the kind of stuff that you don't ever need to see. I don't need to do the valuation model. That's not what I'm looking for. Come on. Valuation. There we go. Okay. So I didn't read Mullen's piece, but I can tell you that if you are out there to get rid of some of your position, you do need the liquidity associated with earnings events. But algos come and get you too. I didn't read his piece, but I'm sure his piece is about the algos. Unless you're talking about his yesterday piece, because he's talking about Priceline. Because I did read that one. So look at this. Look at what's happening. Who cares about Square? Why? Let's put AMD here. That's a good idea. We can keep these keep comparing things to AMD, because AMD's all over. Because sometimes it makes money and then sometimes it doesn't. Back to NVIDIA. Look at the valuations for NVIDIA and how they have certainly stretched. So now we're looking at 55 times, not SS. Not talking about Chevys. 55 times earnings. Forward 12 earnings. After spending most of last year bouncing in between 18 and 47, now we're well out of that range. But remember, part of this is R&D and, you know, things of that nature. So maybe we shouldn't be overly concerned with PEs. How about we look at price to sales? And again, this is going to be a trailing number rather than a forward number. But wow, 12 and a half, and that was before. Remember, I was telling you guys we were having this problem before, where for some reason this last one doesn't pop up. But you're talking 16 times sales versus 2, and then the S&P is what, 3-ish? These are some pretty extraordinary numbers here on AMD. 12 times. Do you want to pay 12 times? Now, of course, what's the counter to this, right? What is the counter to this? Is that, well, they've got the growth to justify the multiple. The question is, do they have the growth to justify the multiple? Remember what our revenue said. These are slowing. It is still 30%, so we are still willing to pay 30%. We're still willing to pay 12 times sales, 16 times sales for 30% earnings, or revenue growth, rather. It seems rather aggressive. It's a lot of money. It's a rich valuation. So, do they chase, or do we have a situation where no matter what NVIDIA does, some of the institutional holders are going to want to shed a little bit of their position because of this, right? I think that's why you have so much volatility surrounding NVIDIA earnings. Just so much. Just so much. And yes, there's the growth of AI, and that certainly factors into this. Autonomous drive. I mean, you could go on and on. Like, we don't have to gush about the technology coming out of NVIDIA because everybody knows it. But now the real decision point is, given what we know about the growth and the actual numbers that we're seeing here, is this going to be enough to warrant paying 55 times sales? I like to look at this. Looking at the quarter that's going to report versus what those next quarter numbers are going to be. And then think about if this guidance is lower or higher. What do we know about the NVIDIA product cycle? Hefe knows all about the NVIDIA product cycle. And we know about these 1070, the new 1070s, sold out. All sorts of stuff, right? Yeah, and then these hedge fund guys are going to come out and talk all sorts of nonsense about it, right? So I think that we're going to end up seeing some whipsaw coming on NVIDIA. Whipsaw. Okay. Let's look at the front week and see what we got. Side by side view rather than the stacked view. This is the options portion of our show. So they're going to report again after the bell tomorrow. So this is why we're going to have a morning after session on Friday. So if you're worried a little bit about where NVIDIA's at, then on Friday, just wait till after their report, and then you can go ahead and do what you want to do. Okay? Again, it's okay to wait until after the risk event. In most cases, you should probably wait until after the risk event, but that wouldn't be any fun, would it? That's what we're here for. Okay. Front week, 208s. So we're gonna call this 207.50. At the money call, it's gonna cost you $8.25. At the money put, $7.65. You see what I did there? Bid in the ask, right? Bid in the ask. Boom. So about a $15, almost a $16 move is what they're pricing in for NVIDIA. 7.6%. So $16 holler, pretty much, side by side to the stacked. So that takes you to what? 192 on the downside. $192s on the downside and 224 to the upside. It's basically 225s. All right, so let's look at this. We're gonna get back to this front week because I know you guys. Well, we actually probably won't ever get back to that front week. You know, I like to go out a few weeks, catch some post earnings drift. Now here's another thing with this, okay, about NVIDIA. And I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not looking to go long here on NVIDIA. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to talk the chart. I got to get in the chart here. I didn't even talk about the chart. Getting ahead of myself. The heck is going on? No, I don't want to set alerts. Oh, man. I should have ate those pork chops, guys. I'm like, you know, my blood sugar's low, and I'm skipping ahead of myself. What's up, B-boy? How you doing? All right, back. Let's get back to brass tacks over here. Let's look at this. Look at this chart a little bit. Look at this. So this was from before. So this was an earnings thing that I probably missed, right? Gap up and go. A little bit of interaction with the 50-day. The last time that happened was August. And now here we are. All-time highs. You know, I always get nervous about these, you know, moves at all-time highs. A couple of things that you could do to try and figure out what the heck is going on here, right? And look at the money flows. Just look at the money flows. This is all buying. Just buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. There's been buying. Okay, so the gap messes this up, right? Probably to here. But since then, just buying pressure, buying pressure, buying pressure, buying, just buying. Suppose you could use this latest retrace here. Give yourself some fibs, some targets to the downside. I don't think we have to overcomplicate it. I think, where's my volume at price indicator? One of my favorites, the volume at price. Here you can see where the vast majority of this has been traded. Obviously, the lower prices, there was a consolidation period here. You got another point here. Got another bunch of stuff going out there. So this is 170s. A little bit of a trough in volume above that. But this has been decent. Now compare this to a move where, and we've seen charts like this, where instead of this volume being, you know, filling itself out a little bit, it's just like this, you know, and then you get this gap up, you know. So it's much healthier for me to see that there's been a little bit of volume that's gone out at these higher price levels. So you've got a decent amount of volume there that has gone out, so this is good. But I think to the downside, you do have this swing high. So you always want to look for levels where the market's already traded, failed, reversed. 191.20. And then the swing low here, 191.17. So we know right in that 191-ish handle that there's support there. And there's likely to be support should the market come back down. Now this is also just in regular trading terms, right? Not something like a huge contraction in valuation. That's not here. Hasn't been evident, which is good. This is more just regular old trading. And you know that's where the bids will likely be. Then the 50-day is below that, 186.18. I'm going to throw the 200-day on here too. It's obviously going to be well below the 50-day. But why not just throw it in here? And Thug Magenta, because we can't do it. Pink, there you go, pink. Just for you, Wild Bill. A little rosé, a little blush. So really that 191-ish level, that's going to provide some support, and then the 200 level psychological, but that's, you know, only 4% off of where the stock is right now. It's not much when you consider how far NVIDIA has come. So back to, well, and we got shaken money flows. Let's look at the commodity channel index. Likely overbought, and it is, of course. Now, one of my favorite patterns to play, we don't see it here, but we have seen it here, is the CCI coming from 300 back down to the 0 line. And then catching a bid. I love this. I do this all the time with Momentum Trader. I wait till this comes down to touch the 0 line again, especially when it's near a 50-day or something like that, and you're close to highs. That's a continuation pattern that happens again and again and again. It just takes a breather, and then you just jump on, keep on going. All right, so with the CCI at 80, it's not really telling us much, other than it's a little bit overbought. Lots of support here, and look at even the 50-day pushing away from the 200-day recently. Just a really strong uptrend. And, you know, what more can you say about a stock like NVIDIA? Okay, so when I started talking about this, I think NVIDIA is one of those stocks where people pay up for these options out of the money. And I don't think you necessarily need to mess around with being long premium in any of this. I think credit spreads are going to be the way to go on NVIDIA. The most obvious one that's jumping out at me is getting down into those 190s. So show me. This is all I got. This is gonna take a while. I think I'm about to upset. No, I didn't. Okay, cool. I was gonna say I think I'm about to get bar chart pretty rowdy right now, but no, we're good. So of course there's no 192s if you go out to the December expiration. Forget it. Let's go to November. Let's keep it short and sweet. I got razors on my shoes so I can cut to the chase, my friends. 192s. So I'm on the put chain right here. And look at this. Look at this. Look at this. So going short this out of the money put spread. Selling the 192.50 put. This is in the November 17th expiration. You're going to get 323. Okay. Now, if you have 20 G's in your account, you stop it right there. And if NVIDIA gets down below that, you get to buy NVIDIA at a cost basis under $190 and be happy. Okay. But for the options traders out there, sell the 192.50 put for 323. Simultaneously buy the 190. It's going to cost you $260. So your net credit on this is going to be $63. Max loss is $2.50 minus the 63. So you can lose $187. So you can make about 33.6% on this trade in a week, a little over a week and a day. And all you need is NVIDIA to close at or above 192.50 at expiration. And boom, it's yours. Okay? Now, inevitably, if you end up putting one of this on, NVIDIA is going to come all the way down here, freak you out, and then cross back up. Because that's just what it does, right? That's part of the reason why I want to be short premium in this. Because I believe that whatever direction NVIDIA actually takes might get a little wiggle in the opposite. So I wouldn't be surprised if it sells off and then gets some traction and starts to rally a little bit, okay? Which I can already hear. And Bill Phillips is jumping up and down at his desk right now, yelling about butterflies. I didn't eat my pork chops yet, though, Bill, so we're not talking butterflies today. We're just talking about short put spreads here out of the money. So there's an idea. Bulls. Bull put... a bull put spread. A bull credit, right? Would be short the November 17th. 192.50, 190 put spread for, what was it, 63 cent net credit. Now, Mr. Williams brings up the point, how about an at-the-money straddle? If you're doing that, you're expecting the market to move more than the options market is pricing in either direction. I don't believe that that's going to happen, Mr. Williams. I think you could probably do the exact opposite. I think you could put a strangle on NVIDIA, perhaps, in this case, because I think it whipsaws. I think it goes one way and it comes back the other way. So let's show that. And we basically did it already. So we're going to move from the stacked back to the side by side. So what the strangle would do is you'd be selling the at-the-money call and the at-the-money put, right? And how do you win? So you're going to sell for $8.25 the at-the-money call. You're going to sell for $7.65 the at-the-money put. And there's that $16.90. And then pretty much you're hoping that NVIDIA doesn't move $16 in either direction. And if it doesn't at expiration, then you're going to cash in on that, okay? Now, that's also an unlimited risk scenario, right? Because you're short a call. So one way to reel that in is you can sell an at-the-money put spread and an at-the-money call spread. So let's say you say, okay, I don't think it's going to move. What do we say? Doesn't matter. You can pick whatever you picked out here. You're going to set your max loss. So let's say, for example, here, this one. Let's go out here. Just to show you guys the math on this. And just to put it out of reach on my other side. Let me center this. Let me center this a little better, folks. So we can get the whole picture here. What did I say? 227's there? All right. There we go. Okay. Now look. So this would be, I say -1. So that's short one. Okay. Protect your put to the downside by going long. So this is +1. So you're long here. You're short here. And then we go out another 20 this way. And again, this is illustrative purposes. +1. Okay. So on this side, you'd get the 825, but you got to pay, right? You got to pay about 160, what? 163. So 662 on that end. Okay, somebody remembers 662. 765 minus 118 plus 662, so 13. Okay, so your total net credit on this strangle would be 1309. Right? Now the amount of money you could lose is $20 minus that 1309, or 691. Okay. Oh, the crawl's covering. Boom! I fixed the crawl. Okay? So there you go, guys. So that's one way to take advantage. There. So that's if you don't think it's going to move or you think it's going to whipsaw. I do think it's going to whip. I think it's going to whip around a little bit. I think this bad boy whips. So you could lower. You can lower your overall risk. I mean, let me put this way. Let me clarify that. You could lower the dollar amount of money, right, that you have at risk by tightening up the spreads. But by doing that, you're going to increase your likelihood of loss because you're trying to peg it in a tighter and tighter place, right? Okay. like a tiger. So then, yeah, so the way that we've been doing condors here, very similar to our at the money strangle that was protected. I guess technically you could say that's a condor. Well, I think they have to be different strikes officially by the definition of definition land. So $16, right? So we're still doing those 192s. 15. We're cheating a little bit, but that's okay. We can cheat. And then the 225. So 225 and 192. So here on a condor, you'd be short out of money call spread, short out of money put spread. And you're hoping that NVIDIA stays between the navigational beacons of 222.50 and 192.50. What do you get on this one? I should, you know what? I should have been throwing these out in the. I didn't put these in the chat, so sorry about that, guys. 192.50. You could sell that for 209. But then you're gonna buy the 190 put for $1.60. So there's a 49-cent credit. And then on the flip side, 264 is what you can sell the 222.50 call for. It's gonna cost you 206 to buy the 225. 58 cents there, plus 49. 107 the net credit on the condor. Amount of money you're gonna have at risk is 143 because the difference in the strike prices is 250 minus that 107, 143. So you have potential to make 74.8% on this condor, and all you need is shares of NVIDIA to stay in between 192.50 and 225.50, and your max loss would be below that or above that. So there's a condor. Let's put a condor on here. Long. Oops, wait. What am I talking about? All right, condor, short, November, and this is just the front. This is just 1 week out. It's not the front week, but it's 1 week out. So 192.50, 190 puts, 222.50, 225 calls for 107 net credit. Now, personally, this is just, oh, I'm side by side. There we go. I'm like, what's going on here? Why can't I see it? Because I was side by side. Now we're going to stack them. Got the call chain on the top, put chain on the bottom. Now, here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if NVIDIA sells off. What? Sell? Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if NVIDIA sells off here on this earnings report, sort of immediately following the earnings report. Okay, would not surprise me in the least bit, because it's ran so much, the expectations are so high. Perhaps there's going to be some slowing that takes place, and these guys have been known to pull these moves on us where it comes down and then it reverses back up. So here we got. Let's look at August. Their report was in here somewhere. Tell me this was the date of the report. August 10th? I think it was. Gap down to the 50-day. Hits the 50-day twice, 3 times the lady, and then starts going. Now we've got the 50-day all the way down at 186, which would be beyond the scope of our little area here, right? This is just, I don't know, this is setting up too perfectly. Think about this. Here's a scenario. And I know I'm talking, it's weird, I'm talking doom, to the downside stuff, because the upside is, what's the upside? Oh, it keeps going, right? NVIDIA is going to go up. Like, yeah, okay, there's no real science that I can do right now to that. game this out, though, with me, if you will. You got a recent high. You got a swing low. So you got an area of support here. They rope-a-dope this bad boy. They force it down. They get you all thinking it's the end of NVIDIA. And then the bidders come in. And then it eventually starts trickling up higher. Because it's like, if it gaps and goes. But if they gap it down, the buyers come. The buyers are here, and there's still a ton of people saying, I got to get in on NVIDIA. I want a little bit of a pullback. And I think down at the 50-day, it just becomes way too attractive. So that's sort of what I think is going to happen to NVIDIA during this earnings report. I think we get a little bit of a move down to this moving average, and then it gets up and goes. So a couple ways to play it. We can either wait until, after the earnings report and hope to come in and scoop some up on the low on Friday morning, which I do believe is going to be a fantastic trade. I think that's going to set up for a nice trade if it does. But listen, so we're talking NVIDIA. AMD didn't go so hot, right? I know Sonus because I had it in surprise. Not fantastic, but has done this thing where it's pulled back to the 50-day and done whatever, okay? Now compare that to the Alphabets of the world that are just going higher. Long or short, Jeff? Long or short? Amazon, Gap and Go, okay? So some of these other things. So, Jeff, it's not, I know you're being funny, but it's not necessarily throwing it away. It's just, where is there support on this chart? And then if it breaks down, it could be good. But yeah, this is what I think if you're out here in the 190s further, 185s, long puts to protect the downside. Well, if you're protecting your downside, what about your upside? Are you going to collar it? Are you going to sell an out-of-the-money call to finance your long put that's protecting your downside? That's my question to you, my friend. If you do see there is some action down in those 185s, the calls are just spread throughout. Everybody's bullish everywhere. Ooh, 1,000 of the 190s traded today. Just buying the puts. Yeah, I think that's more of a cost basis thing, my friend. Depends on where you got in. I don't think... So if you're not selling the stock for another few years and you want to hold it over the long run, then I don't even think you should be concerned with protective puts. I don't. You should just hold the stock and not worry about it. Because protective puts are here for a short-term trade solution. So you want the stock to go down and then you maybe make a little money in the put. Really, I think you're just kind of throwing some money away by doing it that way. When you do these protective puts, that's why I say collar them. Go a little bit further out. Actually provide yourself some protection, not a one-day thing, or a 3-month thing, or there has to be some kind of fundamental change to NVIDIA's business that's gonna cause. No, don't even mess around with it. No, wouldn't bother, Jeff. No, and if you're gonna do it, just collar it. So I don't have a problem with buying protective puts necessarily, but I have a problem with, why not finance it by selling a call out of the money? So what I mean by that is you have these 185s that you do want to protect to the downside. Then to the upside, you could sell, look at this, you could sell a 230-250. You're going to get 179, and your 185 costs 165. So that's something you could do. And then if it gets called away from you at, up in the 227.50s or in the 232.50s, then great, you're a winner anyway, okay? Um, again, awful expensive to mess around with a lotto play. But if you're going to, then I say because these things expire on that Friday, just wait till the morning to mess around with some of these. Because all of these are going to be really expensive. And if you notice, there's a little tilt towards the bulls here. These guys are still paying $200 for a 230. It's expensive. Expensive stuff. Lottos have to be sort of out of the money. It's just not there. It's not there for NVIDIA anymore, guys. Too expensive. Okay, well, I've talked till I'm blue in the face. And that's all I've got. So, back to this. Boom. So, guys, feel free. Shoot me those emails, livetrader@zax.com, or talk to me in the chat room. Let me know what you guys want me to try and tackle next week. We've got Square after the bell today, so I'm sure we're going to be in the chat room talking about that. And then mañana, well, no, today's Wednesday. So, Friday... we're going to go ahead and do the morning after on NVIDIA. So we'll have a live market reaction to see what it did. And Danny's asking me about Chem. What's up with Chem? What's down with Chem? Oh, yeah. Trade that pays. Trade that pays is... I've been wrong before, guys. I've been wrong on NVIDIA a lot, okay? Bull credit is what I think happens. I think that works. Because even if it does dip down, I think it comes right back up. And the market has kind of been leaning towards bullish reactions on a lot of these companies. So, I know a lot of you guys don't like the risk versus reward associated with credit spreads. Then don't do them. That simple. But I think that's going to work out. Chem, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. All this volume. All this volume out here. And it's right by the 200-day moving average. I think they're coming in to help it here. I don't know if there's enough strength, though. Volume. So look, you need a big volume day for a reversal, right? You had a big volume day here, but it didn't reverse. Big volume day there, but it hasn't officially reversed. So jury's still out, but I think it can reverse here. Absolutely. Alibaba just ticking up. It wants to go. She wants to move, man. She wants to move. Right there. Right on the edge, bro. Right on the edge. What was the earnings day? Was that this one? Was that this? I think it is. Yep, we were up big and it came down. Stop grabber there. You see that? And now it's been an inside. Basically inside within this range. So... you basically just gotta, sit on your hands. That was the 17th, Jeff. That was the 17th. If you want to think about some collar action. Collar. It's all about these collars, man. Or, Jeff, you don't even have the collar. You can just sell those and say, whatever. If it hits that, I'm out, and I'm happy. Because you're going to make money on that. You're getting the credit. Plus, you're getting a target, like a price target, basically. So it'll just work automatically for you. It calls you away. Then you do have to worry about if you're short-term or long-term capital gains, but that's a tax situation, and that's your situation, my friend. All right, I'm going to go eat these pork chops. I hope they're not cold, and I don't have any applesauce, so that's a failure too, but that's okay. I think I spiced them up enough where I'll be just fine. So thank you guys so much for the participation. I really appreciate it. Makes these go a lot better. And I will see you all in the chat and in the show mañana. So have a good one, my friends. We'll see you.